Right, hello everybody and welcome to another video by Flash Jazz Cat. Well, I say another video, I haven't made one for almost 3 months now, but there's good reasons for that, which I'll go into in another video. I'll make an update to the previous video I made, why I can't get anything done. Yeah, I've got this wrist problem. I can't hide it because I've got a heat pack on at the moment. This has been going for a month. I went 2 weeks, I didn't do any work at all. I laid off coding, I don't play the guitar anymore. Until I figure out what exactly is the problem here and whether it's going to get any better and if there's anything I can do about it. So it comes and goes. I mean, you know, the wife wanted the house painted over the weekend. I've been putting that off, but you know. But anyway, what we're going to do in this video, installing a super color CPU card in an Atari 800, which has already had Incognito installed in it. I'll tell you something I have noticed as well during the hiatus is the YouTube has just turned into an absolute sea of unskippable ads at the start of videos. It's, I'll tell you what, there'll be none of that non-skippable video stuff on my channel. Not as long as I've got blood in my veins and breath in my lungs. So anyway, let's get on with this super color CPU card installation. But before we do that, let me take a moment to mention the sponsor for this video, PCBWay. If you're in need of PCB prototyping or fabrication, why not do it the easy way and visit PCBWay.com for an instant quote, then upload your PCB files and enjoy a turnaround as fast as 24 hours. PCBWay offer a huge range of services including CNC machining and 3D printing, so if you're in need of PCB manufacture, consider PCBWay today. Now the last time I covered this supercolor CPU card, it transpires when I look back through the channel, was in a live stream some years ago, and I think that's got buried basically. So I think it would be a good idea to have a look at this. This machine's been on the desk for a while. It came from Canada. It's an NTSC Atari 800, and this is the supercolor CPU card from Jürgen TFHH. One of the best and brightest minds in the Atari community when it comes to hardware, and a thoroughly nice chap as well. So what Jürgen's done here is he's provided jumpers on the board. As you can see in this area here, you've got CPU type selection. There's two positions. The top position, pins 1 and 2 on each one, is the 6502C, and that is your Sally chip, and the bottom two positions, pins 2 and 3, are for the Sally, the 6502B as it's labelled here. So this one has a proper generic 6502. I'll go through some of the other jumpers while we're looking at the board. We've got the PAL NTSC jumper here. That's going to decide whether or not the GTIA gets the secondary crystal clock for the PAL color burst or not. That one is jumpered NTSC here, which is just going to pass the main clock straight in there because the NTSC color burst is an evenly divisible fraction of the system clock. And you've got color invert here. That's kind of somebody in the comments will probably explain better. That kind of inverts the I don't know, inverts the phase or something like that. So, and then you got your delay pop, which is that allows you to adjust the picture a little bit, but I think that is the phase of your color and your luma. And it also produces audio, this board. Now I don't think I'll hook up the audio on this one. I didn't on mine because I found it to be very quiet for some, and I did speak to Jürgen about it, and I don't think we ever came to any conclusion about it. I mean, I could try it and see what it's like, but it was extremely quiet. The levels were very low and we couldn't figure out why. So I don't know if that's going to be the same here. And we've also got the color adjustment pot just to adjust the palette of the video. And what this basically is, for those who don't already know, is this is essentially a CPU carrier board for the 800, but it's basically got the UAV video upgrade built into it. And what we hope to see eventually, once the worldwide chip shortage and the supply chain issues sort themselves out is I think Jürgen, he got an agreement with Simius that he was actually going to put the DVI, the Sophia DVI board integrated into one of these, so you would also get, you'd probably keep the UAV part as well, so you basically get Sophia DVI and RGB and all that stuff. So it would be like an all-in-one, just the ultimate possible video CPU card for your 800, and you'd get all the different, you get component VGA, YC video, composite video, the whole lot. I mean, that would be some board. I don't know how much that would sell for, but my, that would be quite something, wouldn't it? And I would heartily, if he does get around to, I heartily recommend this for your 800 as well, any 800. And if Jürgen and Simius managed to pull that off, I would say that would be a must-have for any 800. So that's what we're going to put in the board. And we'll step through Jürgen's instructions, and I'll show you my way of doing it, my way of wiring it up. You have to wire it up because this won't feed the video signal out on the CPU card connector. So as soon as this goes in, the original pathway is kind of dead anyway. At least I hope so, because I didn't get a picture out of it. But that kind of makes sense, because the video signal that's produced on the header here is designed to go straight to the video jack. It's not designed to go through this secondary pathways here to the interconnect board. So it makes sense that you won't get a picture until you rig this up. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so here we have a nice PDF that Jürgen provides describing the installation instructions for the Supercolor CPU card. It goes into tremendous detail with various caveats and warnings. For example, it's very important that if you're not going to feed the audio from the motherboard into the Supercolor CPU card, you actually jumper the input connector. And as I mentioned before, when I installed this board in my machine, it suffered from very quiet audio when I did use this audio amplification feature. So anyway, we've got the pinout for the video connector here, right next to the audio connector shown there on the left. He describes the orientation of the audio input, which is presumably critical, and there you've got your composite video, chroma, luma, grounds, and the audio output, of course, coming out of the terminal block connector there. And so yeah, so that's the installation manual, and very comprehensive it is too. So let's go back over to the board and see how we're going to wire this up. Right, so what Jürgen actually provides you with out of the box here is a cable which goes straight from the header here straight to a female video jack, a DIN 5 video jack. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the cable. But so I guess Jürgen's thinking maybe you're going to cut a hole in the case at the back for this new video signal. I can't really see the point of doing that at all, because you've already got you're going to get the same signals. I mean, and the onboard video connector's going to become inactive anyway as soon as you fit this board. So I can't really see the point of using this. You might as well run this cable from the back here and take it to these, you remove a few components, feed it in there. So maybe it's a bit less easy to reverse the modification, but why would you want to reverse the modification anyway? But you would have to put the components back that you took away, put the original CPU card back in. Who the hell's going to do that? So I'm going to do it exactly the same way as I did on my machine. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually chop this cable. I'll try and preserve this connector shroud if I can. Push that back like so. And that off there, get rid of that. And I mean, he's done a really nice job of this as usual. I can't say enough nice things about Jürgen and his work. But yeah, we're not going to use this. So I'm going to chop that off basically. Yeah. Using the good hand, I want to strip this cable. I hope this is going to be long enough. It's going to come from all the way over here, and it's going to come down. I think it is. Oh, I hope the cable's going to be long enough. Oh, because it's a nice cable, this one. It's a nice shielded cable. So I want to use it if I can. So let's get the strippers out. No, not that kind of stripper. This kind of stripper. Alright, get this insulation off here. See, it's really nice. Oh shit, I don't want it all over the... I don't want the insulation all over the board. Let's just put the motherboard out of the way for a moment. Get rid of this shielding. Yeah, this is a really nice cable. It's got the plastic sleeving on it and everything. I guess the kind of quality you've come to expect. So I want to see what the reach is going to be like, because the ground cable uses a colour scheme that is consistent with the instructions as well, which is always a nice thing. Since I'm not going to use the cable with the separate shield ground on it, I'm going to tie it together. Well, that's what I did on my machine. Now if we continuity test them anyway, they're connected. There is, yeah, there's like 54 ohms resistance across those two, but I'm going to tie them together anyway. It works fine. If you did things differently, let me know in the comments anyway, but that's how I'm going to go about it. So the ground is actually the grey wire here. That's the signal ground, so I'm just going to tie that in with that. I'm going to snip this pink one because it's not used, and then we will be good to go. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll chop the pink wire. Boom! Flew a long way. And the grey one I will strip, and I will tie that in with this one. So if you're going to do this and you're going to use the cable that Jurgen provides, obviously what you would do, well, you wouldn't have to do any of this, because the ground on the right is going to go to the shield, and then the one on the left is going to go to the signal ground. So you don't really have to do anything, but I want to use the existing monitor connector on the power board. So I'm just going to tie them off. There's not really anything else you could do. You could either leave the shield disconnected, which I think I tried, and I don't think it made much difference, but anyway, that's what we're going to do. So this machine, when I put the incognito in, it powered up fine. So I'm expecting it to still work. So the ground goes up to the bottom of this capacitor here. Right, so I'm going to put a bit of tubing over here. Oh, it's a bit long. That's it. Right, I've got a nice thick bit of shrink tubing here, which is going to go over the whole lot. I should have tinned those little wires first. I'll do that in a minute, just to stop them splaying about all over the place. And I just want that to cover the top there just far enough. Really hope that's going to be long enough. And Jurgen makes really nice cables. They're very well finished off, and look at the other end of it. It's really very good. So you're going to get a good, clean video signal, hopefully. Right. Fingers crossed that I don't have to extend that ground wire. So we'll get these tinned, and I will show you what components I'm going to take off the board. One beep. Beep. Actually, the knockoff Hacko that I was using before this one, I should change the sleep set. It didn't have a sleep facility at all, and it was always on, which isn't good for the tips. But my god, no waiting around for it to come out of sleep mode. I think you can adjust the sleep temperature on this proper Hacko. I should probably do so. So if we start with yellow, which is composite video. So the yellow wire is going to go here, and that's the composite video output, and it's going to end up here on this inductor, which is, I think, L104. So we're going to remove that inductor. We're going to remove next to it R189, I think it is, down there, and that one is going to be Luma. And then at the bottom here we're going to remove L10, I think that's a 5, and that one is chroma, and that is going to be the brown wire. And the audio wire, which we're not going to use anyway, is the green one. Put a little bit of extra solder on here just to persuade them off the board. I can't be bothered to start getting a desoldering gun out and stuff. I'm just going to use a jeweler's screwdriver and a bit of leverage. Should be fine. There we go. And that resistor as well. That U off. And the other inductor. I mean, you could just lift these off if you didn't want to take them off entirely, but I'm going to take them off entirely because it's... you might as well. You could put these components to one side if you wanted to, if you thought you might want to put them back. I don't really like them lifted and just left on the board. So I'll keep them and I'll give them back to the owner for the sake of completeness. I mean, do be careful if you do this. I know exactly how long I can stay on these pads for, but do be careful that you don't lift any vias out of this old board. But I mean, they're pretty robust. 800 boards, quite well made. So I've got a bit of flux on there, and like that. I mean, I might have a go with the audio. I suppose I should, and we'll see what it sounds like. We could give it a try. So you can see this solder's just flying out of those holes with no problem at all. And that is because of flux. This one, not quite so keen. Come on. I'm going to have to go through it from the back. No, I'm not. There we go. So clean them up. So yeah, I did extend the ground wire because I didn't make it long enough and I'm an idiot. I'm going to solder these three in. I'm just going to lift that green one out of the way, white one in the middle, brown one at the front. You fell out, you swine. Yeah, the yellow ones fell out, of course it is. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to take this ground and I'm just going to solder it to the left hand side of this little green capacitor here. It's a handy ground point. So I'll tin that a bit. Tin that side of there. We should actually have video. Then we'll have a look at the audio and see what that's like. Right, so that's all good. I'll lift that out of the way because I don't know if I'm going to use it yet. And I don't want to sort of tie it off. I'm going to try it with the audio first. Because if it works, then great, and if it doesn't, if it's not loud enough, I'm going to have to make a jumper to short the pins on the input so they don't float. Apparently that's important, so we'll try with the audio first, sure thing. So we might as well feed these wires into the connector here as well, while we're about it. I'm not a huge fan of these terminal block connectors personally, but they do work. Personally, I prefer DuPont connectors, so you would have a crimp connector on the end of the cable. But I mean, yeah, it's whatever. I mean, it works fine. Alright, so now I'm not going to turn it on as it is, I'm going to hook the audio up. Right, so let's get this this end of the audio connector soldered in on the motherboard, and then the only thing I'm going to have to do is go away and have a look at the schematic to find out which component at this end of things needs to be lifted, removed, what have you. So, the brown wire apparently goes to the lower side of R193, and let's see where R193 is on the board. Right, so the brown wire goes to the bottom of R193, which is that fella right there with the big pad at the bottom, which is helpful. Right, and the black wire, are they both grounds, the black? Ah, one's a shield again and one is a signal ground. And the lower side of C198. Aha, hidden by my white RNMI wire. So that appears to be the bottom of that capacitor there. I'm not making a great job of this because I don't know if I'm going to leave it here, you see. So it really is a poor soldering job, this, but that's okay. That's fine. So this cable has to go that way on, not that way on. He tells you in the instructions very, very specifically, not that way on, this way on. So that's all the connections done at that end. So I just need to find out now where I'm going to put that green wire. Right, so here's the sheet 2 of the Atari 800 schematic. Now, if we have a look down here, that looks like audio CMV, so that must be composite video, composite chroma, composite luma, and we've got A in and A. What's one of the two? I can't remember which one it is. So we can figure this out fairly easily if we put the power board on. It is pin 2, and it's that's the one. So it's actually the next one along. So the audio comes from R164. So we're going to lift that one. We'll just lift it for now because I don't know if I'm going to stick with this idea or not. So we'll lift that fella up, and that is where we're going to put our green wire, which is audio, and then when we switch it all on, it should all work, and we'll see if it's quiet or not. I should have made these a little bit longer. I didn't want to chop too much of the end of the cable off because it's got quite a distance to travel anyway from the CPU board, so I didn't want to go crazy with it. Right, so that's on. So this should now give us audio through the legacy video jack. When I took the blue tack off the switch, I've destroyed the switch. Oh god, I can't test it until I've got that fixed. Alright, that'll do for now. Just a quick fix. Make sure it doesn't touch anything else. Okay, so now we switch on. We've got power. We've got video. There we go. I'm going to need the keyboard in order to get out of this. Right, now, when it works, stock config, we'll give ourselves some extra memory. Diagnostics, no. Want stock OS, yes. That'll do. Save, quit. I haven't got any audio at all. Right, what have I done wrong? No audio. Right. Okay. I just never have any luck with the sound on these boards. I don't know why. It's either quiet or it just doesn't work. Alright, so I'm going to take that wire out. I'm going to put that resistor back down where it was before, and I'm going to see if we get audio. I'm not going to need to jumper those pins because they're actually hooked up to the motherboard anyway, so I don't think that's going to make any difference. Alright, that'll do. Metallic parts out of the way because I've got 12 volts racing around this board. Right, now plug it in. Oh, I heard something already there actually. Whoop. Jesus. And there we go. Definitely got audio there. So, Jürgen, help! Why does the audio not work? It's not plugged in the wrong way, it's hooked up to the right places, so I don't know. Not why it hasn't come off, no. That's on the bottom of our 193. I just couldn't hear a thing. it just doesn't like the way I've got this thing hooked up. So again, I can't use the audio, but I did show you how to wire the audio up anyway, so if you want to use it. So what I'm going to do, I'll jumper those that audio input on the SCCC. But anyway, let me give you a look at the video quality anyway. Now we have got some jail bars on here. Now that's common, and I don't know, maybe that's my cable, maybe that's something I'm doing, but I observe this more often on NTSC machines. I got that on the 1200 XL with a UAV in it, with a jail bar issue. And here we are with an NTSC Atari 800, and I've got them again. But I mean, it's nice. What you can see, what you can make out is the excellent character definition. It's just really, really very, very nice. Much better than you would get even from a stock Atari 800, which has really good stock video anyway. The Luma's a bit overdriven on the Atari 800, so there's a little mod you can do on there. But I mean, it's very nice indeed. So I'm sure there'll be no complaints about this, but it would be nice to know that it just seems to me to be a property of NTSC for some reason. If you're going to get with a UAV or a supercolor CPU card, if you're going to get those lines, it always seems to be on NTSC. I can't remember a PAL machine where I've had this problem. It's very, very strange. And obviously there's quite a bit of cable routing to do on here. You're going to have to that tucks in once that plastic frame's in place. That'll tuck around the outside, and then your Faraday cage can go down on top of it. But I'm not going to put this machine together yet. I don't want that to touch anything. And what I'll end up doing with this little green wire here, if I don't get any ideas about the audio, which I just couldn't hear at all, is I'll just leave it there, but I'll insulate the end of it. So anyway, that is basically the job done. So there you have it anyway. That's SCCC installed. And I just wanted to run through it fairly quickly. It was just something that was missing from the channel. I know it's on a live stream, but nobody watches them. Yeah, so I just wanted to get the ball rolling. I've got some much longer format stuff, quite a queue of things to make videos about, and hopefully I'll get into a rhythm of producing content again. Fingers crossed. Not that I can cross fingers with this hand, but nevertheless. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and as usual, I apologise again for the lack of content lately, but there's reasons for that, and I will do a little update video, probably just on the things that I told you about before. That seems reasonable, because you know, you were kind enough to listen to all the stuff I had to tell you about. And thank you to the Patreons as well. I'll list your names if you're still there. I'll have to have a look, see who's given up. But yeah, if you nip over to Patreon, you can support the channel. I fully understand if you wouldn't want to at the moment, or even if you've actually left because of no videos for 3 months. I can't expect people to support a channel that isn't producing content, so that's perfectly fine, and don't feel bad about that at all. I'm the one who should feel bad. So thank you for watching. If you like the video, you know what to do, and if you want to share it and do other good stuff, and leave your comments below, that'll also be most appreciated, and see if we can get things moving forward again. I say that every time, but yeah, let's hope we can. So thank you very much again, and I will see you in the next video. So bye bye for now.